Stanford good enough to navigate another Pac-12 season? We certainly know that they're smart enough there at Stanford. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down all the schedules in the Power 5, plus the major independents. That is 70 teams. We're ranking them 70 all the way up to number 1. Then we conclude this series by reviewing the schedules, then giving you the previews and the predictions for all the teams. Stanford's got a pretty difficult run here in 2018, but that's nothing new at Stanford, where they schedule difficult non-conference games because they've got the series with Notre Dame. That's a fairly traditional, albeit it's a newer tradition of Notre Dame and Stanford playing each and every season. So that, of course, highlights the non-conference season for the Cardinal. They go to South Bend on September 29th to take on the Irish, projected by myself and most of the power indexes to be one of the top 15 teams in the country. Stanford opens against San Diego State at home. They fell prey to the Aztecs on the road in San Diego last year, losing that game out of conference. So they've got to deal with San Diego State, which is probably one of the top 40, 45 teams in the country. So that's another difficult non-conference game. The other one, much more manageable, in UC Davis in Week 3. USC Stanford get together in Week 2. This has become kind of an oddity that has repeated itself in the schedule at times, with USC and Stanford playing in Week 2 over and over and over and over again before each of them really complete their non-conference season. So what distinguishes this schedule for Stanford as being one of the most difficult schedules in the Pac-12 and number 32 in the nation is that, again, they've got the two non-conference games that are very difficult in San Diego State Week 1 and Notre Dame Week 5. And then in addition to that, the two teams that they miss in the Pac-12, Arizona and Colorado. Colorado is the second worst team in the league. Stanford doesn't get the benefit of playing the Buffs, and they also miss Arizona, a mid-tier team at best in the Pac-12. So they have to deal with Washington, Washington State, Oregon, USC, UCLA. And so it's a difficult run. Consider the first 5 weeks of the season for the Cardinal. They play San Diego State and USC out of the gate. Then they get the light touch with UC Davis, but then they've got to rally against Oregon and Notre Dame on the road and then come home for Utah. So that's the first 6 games for Stanford: San Diego State, USC, UC Davis, Oregon, Notre Dame, and Utah. And then after they've got an open date, after they take on the Utes, it's a pretty easy stretch drive for the Cardinals. So if they can avoid the losses early, they should be in great shape to contend for another Pac-12 North Division championship. Stanford has the 32nd ranked schedule in the nation. Coming up here, according to Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. If you love the content, even if you disagree with us, if you like the content that we provide, please like, comment, and subscribe as we get you set for 2018 right here on Mark Rogers TV.